Well, welcome back everyone, and hopefully the final episode of my Ford Focus adventure. Well, at least for this repair anyways. But we'll see. Let's take a look at what has transpired. All right, so if you notice something missing here. There's the alternator. The alternator's out. Oh my God, thank you. Yes, so all this in an effort. I don't even know if you can. Let's see. Can get down there and see if I can even see where this piece goes over here. Somewhere in here. Somewhere in there. Anyways, somewhere in there. This piece connects to something somewhere in there. That's that. Don't trip over that. That's this thing here, this little offensive piece. I had to take this off, and actually, and you can't really hear it. It's still functioning, but it sounds just a bit rough. Anyways, so we got the new one here. Funny thing is, Crazy Bill, my brother-in-law, came over today, and it's like I was bemoaning the fact that this was very difficult. It was just not coming out, and he looked at it, and I said, "Look, see, you just shake it around, and boonk, it let loose." And then we wiggle it out of there. So the next thing I got to do is I got to get my hand down in there and try to see. I wonder. So the engine's kind of actually sunk down because my jack loses pressure over well. Anyways, so we're gonna jack that back up and see if I can get some eyeballs on that sensor. All right. Well, I got it out, and here's the new one in there. I'd show you. Well, I'll try and show you. I don't even know if you can see. Mosquitoes are rampant. Anyways, right. That was like upside down look at it. What did I do? Well, to get the old one out, I cut off the end and just used a socket and spun it out. 15 millimeter, and you got to make sure you get. I tried to get a wrench on there, and it was like, so socket. But then to get the new one on, I used one of these. Handy little device. I don't use them often. Probably this is the second time I've used one, but I have the set. It's a 15 mil, and because the wire is on there, you can't get a socket. Now you could either take a socket and cut a slice down the side of it, so the wire, because the wire is attached, right? Which I cut off, but the new one has a wire attached. You can't cut it off, then it's useless. So you get this puppy on there, and then with a 3/8 ratchet, I had a little stubby 3/8, and tighten it up, and there it's on there. So now we can put the alternator on. So let me see if I can squeeze that. Well, I got to put a few other things. A few things I took off that I really didn't need to take off. So I think there's this tensioner. The tensioner I pulled off, that didn't need to come off. I'm gonna put that back on before I put the alternator on. But that's it. And then so here's the connector. I'm gonna put that alternator, clean up these. I see where it's supposed to slide. See, it's supposed to slide out here, but it's so corroded. I'm gonna try and clean that up before I put the new one on there. You see there's the fuel filter, or not fuel, oil filter. Anyways, yeah. Here's the alternator main lead and the plug alternator. This is, I believe this is the plug to the alternate. No, this is the plug for, no. Anyways, we'll figure it out. All right, so I got it finagled in there. Actually, I dropped the engine and it kind of just pretty much went in there, not too bad. And now I jacked the engine back up again. I got it on a big block of wood, so it's not damaging anything. And I've prepped up my my 2 bolts. Put a little bit of anti-seize on there, just God forbid I'll ever have to take that off again. Maybe after I'm dead. But anyways, so yeah, let me see if we can sneak this one. There we go. Yeah, feels like it's catching something. Okay, catching a cold, I hope not. And the other one, not so nice. Goes, it can't do it one-handed, but anyways, it goes on under there. So got the lead wire, the wire on there. Plug goes in here. We can actually do that. So here's the, no, not this one. Here, there we go. Here's the plug. Actually, what this is you pull up on this tab to release it. I was trying to push it down. It's like, why would this darn thing? Anyways, it should just, there we go, click in there. So there we go, we're in. Yeah, I know it's a little loose still. I got the other bolt to go in there. But that's my struggle for the next few minutes. All right, well, after much consternations, we got it all back together. I think I've plugged in everything where it needs to be plugged in, and all the bits are screwed back in. The hardest part was getting that serpentine belt back on there. I won't even tell you. But anyways, yes, so now I do believe the battery's hooked up. Everything's hopefully good to go. So we're gonna start it up.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Actually doesn't sound as loud anymore.
That's probably because I plugged that dot thing that was unplugged. Still sounds like a bag of hammers, like Crazy Bill said. Actually, we're gonna shut it off and check the oil. No, we haven't checked the oil after running since the oil change, so we gotta check, make sure it has enough oil. And probably can't see it, but it's on the full mark. Yeah, so it's all good. All right. So now we just gotta start up and let it run outside, and hopefully the fans turn on. So it should be coming on. It came on. I want to catch the moment. Like, hopefully it is. It's 96 Celsius. I think it kicks in at like 98, somewhere along there. It should pop in any time now. It seems to like to run a bit hot, but the fans came on for like 30 seconds and then cut out. So 97 should come on any second now. Come on, babies. Come alive. Still waiting. Pet rabbit went up the spout and came out backwards. Celsius. Maybe it kicks in at 100. Come on. Hopefully 110. 100 Celsius is the boiling point of water, so I think I remember reading 112 Celsius is where it's supposed to kick in. We're sitting at 110. Well, we're back in the garage, and that can only mean one thing. We still have not achieved what, well, the cooling fans are still not turning on, and I'm quickly reaching the end of my abilities. But there is one last thing we can do, and if we get the light, sure, I got the light ready. There's one more thing we can check, and it's hard to see here. It's right down there. That is the cooling fan resistor. Now, I did replace that a couple of years ago, but apparently well, like I say, we're going to test it. It pops out. Yeah, I'm going to pop that out. It plugs in, it just pops out, and we're going to test it with an ohm meter. And darn mosquitoes. We're going to see if it works or not, if there's continuity, and that could cause the primary fan not to turn on. And the fans come on. You turn the AC on, the fans come on and cool it. So the fans are working. But anyways, let me pull that out and we'll give it a test. Well, here's the offensive little unit, and actually it looks kind of gross in there. I'm kind of pretty. It looks like it's maybe been arcing. I don't know. So we're going to clean that up a little bit and yeah, give it a test. All right, so we've cleaned it up. I don't know if you can see that. It's better, but it definitely looks kind of fried in there, like it was. Yeah, but I've cleaned up the connectors, and so according to, oh yeah, this is gonna be tough. Okay, hopefully this will show you. So continuity is basically, come on. Now it's not going to work. All right. So we get a 0. We get a 0 if we, oh, mosquitoes. And, oh, why is it not working there now? Never works when you, there we go. So we have numbers show up when we touch the two ends together. Basically that means we have a complete circuit. So what I'm going to try to do is touch one end, one pin of this and one here. Maybe my battery is running low on there. There we go. So we have a circuit running through this. So there's nothing broken, so it should work. Now the next thing we're looking at is this connector. It looks pretty grungy, and it kind of looks like it's burnt. I might have to replace this connector. I'm actually probably pretty sure I have to replace the connector. But I'm going to clean it out and see if I can get any contacts on there. Well, luckily for me, I remembered that when I bought this new piece last time, it actually came with a new connector, which I didn't bother using. because the old one looked good, and it was good for a couple of years. So now I'm just going to have to replace the end, and going to clean up this a bit more. And they actually came together, so they should fit together. We'll try it again. I might have to, yeah, gonna have to clean it up a little bit more. But there's continuity. It's yeah. So anyways, that's gonna be me for the next little while. I'm going to clean this out, and then gonna have to dig back in there. That wire, sorry, that wire is really short. That's a really short wire there. I'm gonna have to kind of move stuff around again. But anyways, that's me for the next little while. So here's a little closer look at it. Yeah, it's pretty toast. Definitely looks different than oh, I got it together here. Hold on. Definitely looks different than that now, doesn't it? But put some dielectric grease in there to make it easier to go on and off. And we should have a good connection. So now all I have to do is get these wires connected to the two. I don't think that it does matter. They're both the same. I think it just needs, it's just a current running through that to tell it, yeah. It's a temperature, basically it's a temperature sensor. All right, instead of struggling inside the engine compartment, I just took it all unplugged, just this little wiring harness for the fan assembly. So I'd much rather spend a little time uncoupling these connectors than trying to work inside a teeny tiny confined space attaching two new wires to this. So that is where we're at, and I just thought I'd employ the heat shield. And if I can do this with one hand, we have a handy dandy wire stripper here that I've had for many years. That, come on, work pretty good. So we're gonna, it's hard to do with one hand, but anyways, there we go. They look a little bit they look a little bit weathered, shall we say. We're gonna do the same to these. And then the connectors that came off a lot easier. I guess they weren't melted like the other ones. Right, so what are we gonna do here? Actually, where's my torch? Yes. So the connectors that came with it are these little butt connectors. I don't like them. They just squish together. I think they probably heat shrink, but I got a something better that I like to do. And let's see here. Where do I keep all my? Yes, I have a bunch of heat shrink tube here. I have of various sizes. That either this one. I got some more down here somewhere. Connectors. Oh yes, I got this. I got a roll of heat shrink tube as well. Gonna get that all sealed up really nice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and strip the rest of these, kind of clean them up a little bit, find my solder, wherever that is. And then we're gonna as far as I can tell, oh, I got a blue one and a white, but there is no I don't think it matters. There is no, it says made in Taiwan on both of these, so I don't think it matters which one it is, as long as it's, yeah, right. All right, I think I'm all set up here. I'm going to try my best to, we got our flux core solder. Hopefully you can be able to see. I have some soldering paste that I'm going to clean up these connectors with. So, on this aside, yeah, got my flame. So, I don't know if this is not a tutorial, this is just how I do it. I'm just gonna dip these ends in the soldering paste. Heat up the end a little bit because they're a little bit corroded and dirty. Probably drop some on my toes, that would be nice. Right. Now, just to show you what I've done here, I have pre-wrapped some shrink wrap down on this, so far enough away that I'm not gonna preheat it while I'm soldering the ends. So we're just gonna let that, I'm gonna put this away. Now this is some vintage stuff here. Canadian Tire. It's not 60, that's 65 cents. It's probably $6.95 now. Canadian Tire is our local, actually not local, it's nationwide, like hardware, tires, well, tires of course, but automotive, but they sell everything now. Kind of like the Walmart of the automotive kind of hardware stuff. No lumber though. Go figure. Now let's see here. Okay. All right, let's see if we can attempt to make a mess here. Of course, it's got all that super corrosive stuff on it. Yummy. All right. I don't often do this, so it's a little bit messy. But you want the wires to intertwine at least somewhat. More than that. Well, not too messy. You don't want a big lump. I won't be able to get the these wires are thicker than the wires of the, there we go. It's gonna have to do, we'll just have to do our provincial bird, the mosquito. Right, so this is going to be a bit tricky because I really don't have a stand or anything. Oh, there, that's pretty good. Right. All right. I love this little thing. This thing's awesome. It's a little bit overkill. I don't like those electric soldering irons because they take forever to heat up. Smells good. Let's just want to crimp it down a little bit so the heat shrink can get over it. There. It'll do. Oh, it's pretty warm. Let it cool off. We're going to let that cool off. And then we'll do the other one. All right, so it's cooled off now. I've had to file down that bit a bit, but it should slide on there now. We're going to put it on all the way as far as we can go. There. So now that once we heat shrink that, it'll be really sealed up well from any, you know, moisture or whatever that could get in there now. And since I got it on there, any heat from doing this next one won't hamper my progress. So let's see if we can get this one together. Maybe a little bit less messy than the last one. I'll get really good at this when I don't have to do it anymore. Okay, there we go. It's gonna be a little thicker anyways because, well, we got two wires together, and then I'm gonna add, then you add the solder, and yeah, you get the idea. So let's see if we can get that out of the way a little bit. I know they have stands for this kind of thing. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna mess that up now, aren't I? Okay, let's see if we can get that done. I think that's got it. Much better that time. Also, now that I have this all off, I can go ahead. I've took a look at these connectors. They're nice and clean. Most of them are nice and clean. I'm going to put a little bit of that special grease in there as well. Dielectric grease. Make sure no moisture gets in there. I don't know what happened to that old one. It was the old connector. It probably got a little bit hot, or maybe the connections corroded a little bit, so I got extra grease in there. Okay, we're gonna let that cool off. Okay, these slid on really nicely, but now I'm going to, let's, sorry about that. Let's scroll back. For shrink wrap, I like using a heat gun. It's much more controlled than a flame or a match or a lighter or something like that. So I'm going to show you the beauty of heat shrink tubing. Sorry if I keep bumping the... So we'll go with number 2. And it should be pretty much almost immediate, as you can see here. Love this stuff. You used to have to go with electrical tape and wrap it around, and then the stuff would get all sticky and unravel. And heat shrink tubing is never go back. I love this stuff. It gives a super tight, waterproof. Even if the solder or the wiring starts, I mean, there's nothing there to corrode it. It's totally sealed off. And we'll just make sure we get it nice and warm. So that's why you want the wires to cool off before you slide that on there, because, and as you can see, you can even see like it sucks itself right up to the area where we soldered, so you can even see that. So yeah, once it cools off, it's like a nice super tight seal. So there, we're gonna put that back in the sleevey here. Let's scroll back a little bit here. So back in its little protective and thingy here. We might put a little bit of electrical tape around this this stuff here. But now we have some nice extra length there, so we're not struggling. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and put a little grease in this connector. This is the Gates Ultra Seal corrosive preventative sealant. It is non-conductive electrical. It says helps prevent moisture buildup and contaminant damage to electrical connections, and creates a non-conductive encapsulating physical barrier between the electrical connection and the surrounding area, which sounds pretty good. I don't think I can do much. This one maybe a little bit. Now just watch. I'll put all these together, and nothing will work. It'll be like, no. Although we'll just have to take them off and clean them out. I mean, but I've never had a problem with this stuff. And it's grout. Anyways, it's a trailer. A lot of trailer stuff. So, anyways, there we are. Now I'm gonna go and put her back in the car. So here we are again. We have our little itty bitty wiring harness that I remember how it goes on, like this, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So if we sneak down there, take a look there, so we can see one connector there to fan I think that's a primary fan. There's the other fan, so there's two fans, and then we have connectors up in here. As you can see here, I have greased up the connectors, so it's going to be a little bit tough for me to show you me putting it in, but I think I'm just going to put it in, and then we got to put all that. I had to take off a bunch of stuff, but not too bad this time. So that's where we're at. So let me go ahead and reconnect all those. There's all sorts of little mounting pins and stuff, but that's where we're at. So I'm gonna put it all together, and then we're gonna be ready for the run test again. All right, so we're all clicked in. That didn't that wasn't too bad. Now all we got to do is release release my bungee cord device. And this is just kind of a hokey pokey thing I rigged up, because whatever was holding it before really wasn't holding it too well, and this is actually not really what's supposed to hold it down either, but it holds it enough. Actually, I think there was actually clips in there before, but as it is, it's well, it's good. As I said, it's good enough, and it's fairly solid. So that goes back there. This hose, the hose that I couldn't get as a replacement hose, goes back in here. Oh yes, the air cleaner snorkel. Would you call it a snorkel? I don't know, looks kind of like a snorkel. That actually has a clip. That goes back there. This little set screw, I guess you could call it. Well, there's a better word for that. So that's in. All that's left is our heat shield. I made a little bit of a modification. If you remember, there was this was enclosed, and there was a hole here where this pipe, this is to the EGR valve. It takes exhaust gas, recirculates it, and for some reason the pipe was supposed to go through that hole and bolt it in. Probably why it wasn't bolted in last time, because that's pretty much kind of impossible to do. But we're going to take this and put it all back together one-handed. Let's see if I can get this go back in there without there we go. I think that goes a lot better in now. That as you can see there, that's where that's where the hole, yeah. So now it goes on much easier, and we can tighten that up. Get this tightened up, and I think we're all back together. All the connectors have been connected. We'll see if, when I did first start it up, the alternator light came on, and it's like, oh, what's that? That's not good. And I just hadn't pressed the connector in just that fraction of a millimeter to get that click, and then it was all good. So, yeah. Now for the final test. All right, so we're all together. Just a quick overview of what we've done. New thermostat housing. All new hoses coming from the thermostat housing. We have a new coil, new plugs, new wires, a new PCV valve. After that was all done and put back together, oil and filter change. We went over, changed the coolant sensor on the block, new alternator, and now finally the connector to the resistor for the radiator cooling fans this time around. So now, now that it's all together, let's see if it starts, hopefully. It starts. Now we got to move it outside and let it run and come up to temperature and see if the fans come on. So we'll see you then once it starts getting warmed up. The fan came on, the fan came on, the fan came on. I can feel air, the fan came on. Yeah. Max is dancing with me. The fan came on, the fan came on, the fan came on. Well, it appears we have fixed it. Should have looked there in the first place. However, now I drive it for a couple of days around town, a few errands, maybe on the highway for a bit. Make sure it stays working. So yeah. Well, on to the next project. Who knows what that is, but we'll keep going. Yeah. Whew. Now. There you go. What, 8 episodes? Right. Wow. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm so glad you could come on my journey of pain. I believe at 112 Celsius. Yes, 112 Celsius, which I do believe I remember it's saying that it should come on. So that's when it comes on. And hopefully it keeps working. But that is it. That ends this series of videos. I want to thank everyone for watching, for commenting, for putting up with my shenanigans. But we carry on. I appreciate your support. And do what you love and love what you do, even if it is working on a car with electrical problems. But anyways, thanks for watching. Bye for now.